welcome to Artistically Married, where art and opportunity collide. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman.
And Brienne Steinberg.
Yeah, coming to you from Peru in Andahuaylillas. Andahuaylillas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say with the double L. I always mess that up.
Yeah, we're literally recording, just sitting on our bed in our Airbnb.
Yeah.
We knew this was going to be tricky, but yeah, we're just trying to work out all the tech stuff. So yeah, be patient with us if the recording isn't as quality as usual.
Yeah, hopefully we'll sound all right though.
Yeah. So yeah, we're about a week and a half into our trip.
Yeah.
So you guys next, you're going to already hear kind of our prelude to this. Our episode last week was all about, mapping out our trip and the places that we were going to go. So yeah, now we're kind of living it. So you're getting almost up to the minute. It'll be like a week after you'll be getting this after we leave here. So yeah, so why don't we start from the beginning of our trip, which would have been a week and a half ago.
Yeah, we had some hiccups right off the get-go.
Yeah, right out of the gate, it was a nightmare. We got dropped off at the airport. My amazing parents took us out for dinner and then dropped us off at the airport last Saturday night at 9 p.m.
Yeah. We went through the gate, checked in, and all that.
Well, we just checked in at the kiosk.
At the kiosk,
we didn't check in at the desk.
We didn't go to the desk.
So that was mistake number one. Yeah.
And yeah, so we were all happy, ready to go, having our airport margaritas, and our trip was supposed to, or our flight was supposed to leave at 12 midnight. So already it's a late night for the kids, and we're rushing them out there. And then right when we went to board the plane, they scanned my passport. Actually, they called my name like 30 minutes before the plane was about to board. And yeah, my passport expired in October. And to fly to Peru, your passport has to be valid for 6 months. So this was information we didn't know. And they were just like, no, you can't fly. So...
Yeah, that was insane. And then we were kind of like, again, it was 30 minutes. So we were stuck at the gate. So we were trying to make the decision whether me and the kids were really going to get on the flight without you.
Yeah, we were going to break up the family, and Annabelle started crying.
Annabelle started losing it. Yeah. I don't think she trusts my navigation skills.
Yeah.
So yeah, and my biggest concern was, I've done enough traveling that I know rebooking flights gets expensive. And the guy was adamant, no, it won't cost you anything. You're fine. You'll just, we'll waive the fee and you'll be able to rebook your flight. So that kind of was like our deciding factor, that we would just hang out behind and try to get you a new passport as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once we had made the decision we weren't going to get on the flight, then it was kind of a disaster, because we were, it was midnight. It was Saturday night in Toronto. We didn't have any place to stay. We have like amazing friends in Toronto.
It was 1:30 in the morning by the time we got out of the airport.
Right. We couldn't get a hold of anyone because everyone was asleep. It was late. Most of the hotels were booked up because it was Saturday night in Toronto.
All the hotels were booked, and then the ones that we could find online were like $600 a room because it was so last minute.
Yeah.
So I remember those stupid commercials, need a hotel, Trivago. So I checked Trivago and found one room for like $225 the night or something like that.
And we had no car because we got dropped off at the airport. So we also needed like transportation. So we were trying to rent a car because we knew we were going to have to do like a whole bunch of running around to try to get your passport the next day.
Yeah.
So we tried to get a rental car, but that was closing at 1 o'clock. So we really kind of had to make a decision at 1 o'clock by the time we were getting off, whether we were going to rent a car. And then, you found the airport or the hotel to stay at, and it had a shuttle from the airport.
Yeah.
So we were able to take the shuttle at 1:30. Get to the hotel and just put the kids to bed, because that was our biggest concern. We were trying to sleep in the airport. I had the kids on benches. We had found benches that didn't have like armrests so the kids could stretch out. And they were being as good as they could be. Annabelle had a couple, bursting into tears moments because she was so stressed out. But yeah, they did really good. And then, we got to the hotel and we put them to bed. And then I was like, I need to get on the phone. I need to try to rebook these flights right away. So for all of you travelers out there, if you guys haven't end up finding yourself in a situation where you need an overnight or you need a same day or next day passport, you have to already have the flight booked. So if we hadn't booked the flight again that night, I knew that they weren't going to give us an emergency passport because we didn't have like a pending flight. So yeah, I spent 2.5 hours. I think I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning in the bathroom in the hotel trying to be quiet because we wanted the kids to sleep and not be more stressed out than they already were. And then the other issue that we ran into was, yeah, the person at the desk at the gate had said that we weren't going to get charged for a rebooking. But unfortunately, that was just like the rebooking charge. So when you rebook, if you don't get the insurance, you end up with like a $250 fee to rebook. So that's what they had waived. But unfortunately, they still charge you for the difference in cost in flight.
Yeah.
So anybody who's done like a last minute flight, they're the most expensive because they tend to be like urgent. And so, yeah, the girl on the phone had told me kind of that this was Saturday night into Sunday. She had said the Monday night flight, there was a Monday night flight. There was no Tuesday night. The Wednesday night flight was going to be 1,500 extra US. And the Thursday flight was going to be 2,000 extra US. So the Monday night, we were able to get for an extra $350. Which is not great, but wasn't terrible. We could afford it. So we did the Monday night flight. But then I was really worried because we were just sitting in the hotel, not sure if we were going to get your passport in time. Sunday, the passport
It was
office
all
is
up in the
closed.
air.
Yeah, Sunday, the passport office is closed. So it would have been Monday morning. And then we would have had 12 hours to get your passport.
Yeah.
On Monday. So yeah, then I can't even remember what happened. I think the night that we were in the airport, I ended up calling this like emergency. It's like a number, which is cool. I should, maybe I can post it in the link below just so people have it. But there's like an emergency number where if you get stuck out of the country, so if like we were here and we couldn't get home because something was wrong with our
Maybe you lost
passport,
your passport
or
or
you lost your
something like that.
passport, then they can get you a passport overnight to get you a passport into the country that you're in to get home. So that number also got us to an agent where, because we had the flight already booked, again, rebooked for the Monday night, they were able to do a same day passport, an emergency passport on a Sunday.
Yep.
Which we were joking. We were joking because it's not, obviously it's not great. What did it cost you?
Yeah, so it ended up being it was just under $500 with tax to get the passport made, and
No, that was a 10-year passport. So you would have
Yep.
been paying $160 anyways to get the
Exactly.
passport.
Well,
that
that's
included
what.
your 160.
Yeah.
But it was still $350
Yeah.
additional because of the urgency.
Yes.
So at first, obviously, we were devastated. $350 more than what we would have paid if we would have gotten his passport done on time, like we should have.
Yes.
But then I was also thinking, like, if I was like a rich and famous person, instead of having to sit in those passport offices, I might do something like that. So I didn't have to sit and wait for my passport, and I could get it over.
Yeah, the service was amazing.
Yeah.
They were very helpful. They gave us a time to show up at the office. They unlocked the doors, and the guy just kind of comes to the front, did all the usual information stuff. We had printed out the forms beforehand and had everything all filled out, and gave it to them, and it was done in about 45 minutes. And then boom, I got a brand new passport on the Sunday, and we still had the rest of the afternoon and then the next day to kind of chill with our friends before we flew out.
Yeah, so the long story is check your passports, friends.
Yeah, make sure you have that 6 months. That's very important.
Yeah.
I think I didn't think about it because we booked the flights so far in advance that it was like 9 months until it expired, but obviously by the time I'm set to leave, it was only 2 months away.
Yeah, it was 1 month away because we're not getting home till September, beginning of September, and it was expiring in October. So, so like we said, we had some amazing help in Toronto. Our friend Mike was able to pick us up from the hotel. He brought Jacob to get his passport pictures done on the Sunday, and then picked us up from when we got the passport, the same day passport done. And then again, a huge shout out to our girlfriend Jen to open up our house to us and let us crash there for 48 hours as we were in and amongst doing all this. And then Monday ended up being really enjoyable. Like we were kind of able to have like a little Toronto adventure first, right?
Yeah,
we went to some cool spots in Toronto and to a bubble tea shop, and I think it was a lot it was a lot less stressful because we had gotten the passport done on the Sunday.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was funny because originally I was kind of nervous just bringing the kids to Peru and stuff like that. So as we're sitting in the airport, I had a bit of nerves, like just thinking about that kind of stuff. And then when the whole passport thing and getting kicked off the first flight, uh, then I was just nervous to get on the plane. So the second time when we actually got on the flight to Peru, I was not nervous at all. I was just like, I was just happy I got through the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. We're like, oh God, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
So yeah, so on we ended up traveling. So we only really missed 2 days. We ended up traveling on the Monday night when they rebooked our flights. Um, I would not recommend the midnight flight.
Um, yeah, I think the worst part of it was the Avianca flights. They have these really small seats, just packing everybody in these cheap flights,
Yeah,
and the seats don't even recline. So that was the worst part. Usually I can recline the seat a bit and you can sleep, but you're sitting in like
straight up.
full straight up
Yeah,
vertical position, and it was difficult to sleep. Normally I kind of like a night flight because you can just sleep the whole thing away, but this was just made it really hard to sleep.
yeah. None of us slept. The kids, even my kids can sleep anywhere, and even they were like really struggling. At one point, I wedged myself between the seats, and
Yeah,
like it was awful. I was like, I'm not somebody who gets like claustrophobic at all, and I was so claustrophobic. I was like sleeping on my side with my arms pinned down,
like on
one
the
underneath
floor.
me on the floor
Yeah.
in the seats in front of me because I was trying to give our kids like the three seats so they could, and they did. They were great like for an hour while I was struggling on the floor. It's giving me anxiety even talking about it. It was awful, but I've done it before. So I did a few flights when I was teaching in Korea. I did a few flights, like 12-hour flights, and I had done it. I had slept on the floor and it was fine. But yeah, this plane was like extra small, no leg room, no room between the seat and the seat in front of you. So it was a nightmare. So
Yeah.
yeah, nobody slept. We were exhausted. We landed in Colombia at 4 a.m.
It was like 5 o'clock. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was just starting to be daylight. We got there in the dark. Uh, yeah, flew to Colombia, and we had about 2 or 3 hours there before we flew out to Cusco.
that was the best sleep I got.
Yeah, in the
Just passed
airport.
out in the Colombian airport.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So then, yeah, the flight from Colombia to Peru was amazing. So we kind of again tried to sleep a little bit in the morning because we were all so tired. But as we started flying into Peru, you're just over. We were over the Amazon for a while, where all you can see is just green, which was pretty cool.
yeah,
I'd never seen the Amazon in person, so that was really interesting. But you couldn't really, tell. You just saw this just gigantic mass of green.
yeah.
But then you get into the mountains and it's just beautiful. So we got a couple pictures out of the airplane, which were just beautiful. And our son Phoenix was just loving it. Like he was just staring out the
Going
window the
crazy
whole
at the
time.
mountains.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I met a fun friend,
yeah,
Tega.
yeah,
He's from Japan.
yeah,
He really liked Phoenix.
yeah. He was just laughing because our son was hilarious. He was so excited.
Yeah,
And yeah, one of the things I thought was really cool, the descent into Cusco is just amazing. So you're in the plane, and like usually when you're coming into an airport, there everything is very cleared around it and flat because that's the most ideal location. But Cusco is in the heart of the mountains, like 11,000 foot altitude. So as you're flying in, the like this full size passenger jet is flying in between like the valley with mountains on both sides, and like you look out the window and you're looking just at land on both sides, which feels so weird in an airplane. And then you slowly come into the city, and everything, even the buildings, are so densely packed around the airport that it just looked like you're just going to crash into the
yeah.
ground.
Either mountains or into the
Yeah,
cities. Yeah, into the
yeah.
buildings.
And then
Um,
boom, we land, and it was awesome.
yeah. So yeah, we landed in Cusco at about 7 a.m. and we took a 20-minute taxi ride to our first Airbnb, which was at the top of Respalosa,
Yeah,
the slippery street.
yeah. Resbalos is slippery in Spanish, and this hill was so steep, and our
Oh my gosh.
Airbnb was up at the top.
Yeah.
It was an amazing location.
It
It was
was
really
cool.
close to
Yeah.
so much cool stuff,
Yeah.
but
Aerial
climbing
view.
that hill every single day was it was tough. It was funny staying in the Airbnb because the windows are just wood, and
You can hear
You could just hear everybody out of
everyone.
breath. Even the locals are all out of breath as they're just walking up this hill.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple times where I was like, "Is someone dying outside?" Oh, the one night I thought it was someone getting it on.
Yeah,
I was like, "What is all this huffing?" It sounded like grunting and panting. I'm like, somebody's like doing it right beside us,
yeah,
and no, it was just someone trying to haul their butt up the hill.
yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah. So, for anybody who doesn't know, Peru is in South America, as Jacob mentioned. And so it's opposite seasons of us. It's still really close to the equator. So, like, we're still getting like really hot summer days. We're still getting like 20, 24 degrees in the daytime, but the nights were freezing in Cusco.
Yeah,
Our
Cusco is
our
cold.
apartment was freezing 24/7.
Yeah.
The cold like
And
got
we
held
were
in, right?
we were on like there was another level above us, so we were kind of like the basement. So the
Right.
just the stone walls just held the cold of the night. So it
Yeah.
was we were always cold in that apartment, but
Yeah.
we kind of got used to it.
I was wearing winter clothes the whole time, and it got
Yeah.
dark by 6 p.m. because it's
Yes,
because it's
yes.
winter.
Yeah.
They're having short days here, so by 6 p.m., which is sometimes it's unfortunate because you don't really want to be trekking around after dark. It's not comfortable, but it's also really cool because we've been getting to see the night sky. So like in the summer, we always want to take the kids out to see the stars.
Yeah.
But here it's great. Like by right after dinner, you can go outside and see the stars, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Cusco was a lot of light. It's a very big city,
Yeah,
like
and our
about
street was really lit.
500,000 population. And
Yeah,
yeah, our street was well lit, so we
yeah,
couldn't see the stars too much there.
yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, it was dark by 6. And actually, the last we didn't make it. The first, so again, that was like our first 5 days, and we had actually originally planned for it to be a week, but it ended up being 5 days. It was our first days in Cusco, and they were pretty slow moving. We were dealing with altitude sickness pretty bad.
Yeah, oh, definitely. So we had heard so much about altitude before we left,
They
and
usually, yeah,
the altitude sickness is real.
oh
So
yeah,
we plan to have 4 or 5 days just to take it easy and acclimatize
and we
and see
needed
what would
it.
happen. And we were so glad we did that. If you're ever going to travel to Cusco, I would highly recommend doing the same thing. Give yourself at least 2 weeks before you just start hiking mountains and running around ruin sites because you might not physically be able to do it.
Yeah, they said a lot of people recommend actually flying into Lima first. So that's usually what you do because Lima is like sea level.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's far away.
but it's far. Yeah. Well, usually I think people would probably go into Lima for a couple days and then they fly into Cusco
Yeah.
instead of driving because it is pretty far. But we kind of wanted to skip that, but we gave ourselves like the first week to just acclimatize, and I'm so glad we did because
Yeah.
our son was really sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got our daughter Annabelle had nothing. She
nothing.
was good.
She's the
Uh
strongest one.
yeah. I was getting pretty good headaches and I really don't normally get headaches at all, so it was new for me, but I kind of just dealt with it. There are things. For whatever reason, I found coffee helped. Like I'm a coffee drinker and I don't know if there's science behind this or not, but if you drink coffee, the coffee was something that really helped, and the Peruvian coffee there was so
So
delicious. We
good.
found this roaster that was just down the street from us, and it was amazing coffee.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that helped my altitude sickness. We tried the coca leaves and the coca tea, and
I was drinking coca tea pretty steadily.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
drinking it steadily, so it probably did help. We found like we were good during our days, and then it would kind
Yeah.
of get worse at night, and probably because we've now exercised and walked and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Walking up and down that hill that was
Yeah,
like straight up in the air.
yeah.
Yeah. It was cool because like Jacob said, our location was like, what do you think down was? Like 8 minutes, to like the main plaza?
Oh, we were so
Plaza de Armas.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the location was great, and that's kind of why we picked it. So they say it's Plaza del Armas is just like it just means the main city center. So ours was specific to the city center in Cusco, and yeah, it was beautiful. There was like those two big, huge churches that
yeah,
sat kitty corner,
yep,
and then just being in all the it seems like in every Peruvian town they have like a city center because now we're in a small countryside town, and they still have one of those.
Yeah.
And it's where I think it's so beautiful. Cusco is like out of control. It's wild now. It's gotten so big. But typically, it's where once a week they come and they have their weekly markets. You'll get all your groceries, everything's fresh produce, everything's fresh meat. So all the surrounding areas, and I think we used to
Oh,
probably have
and
this.
yeah, I
We used
forgot
to
to
have
tell you
this probably,
this.
and I think they probably still have it in small like towns in Ontario, northern Ontario towns that still have
Yeah.
markets. So yeah,
It's just like a gathering place too.
yeah,
So in
we had
the
parades.
in the market square, the kids in the schools during the day,
Oh
they would come out
yeah,
and they would do like dances in the street, and they would have drums and they would play drums and they would do these like choreographed dances. So everybody
yeah,
would gather there. So there's obviously tourists that are watching it. But when I went out last night in this square,
yeah.
it was the same thing. There was somebody playing music, and there was all the women were doing like that kind of like Tai Chi sort of
Oh
style dance. So they were
yeah.
doing that here too.
It must be like at sunset, because I keep imagining what this place is like in the summer. It must just be roasting, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
I bet you a lot of times like all these different routines and rituals that are built into their daily lives are based on the fact that they need to wait for the sun to go down before they're doing like any movement. Like it must just be, siesta all day.
I
Because
think
I
so.
found a lot of places didn't open till like noon or
That's what
two.
I was just gonna say. And
Yeah.
like the concept of business hours, like if something
Oh,
says it's open, it's
yeah.
just
Don't
if they want to
bother.
be open, they're open, and if they don't, they're not. So
Yeah.
you can't rely on a store opening at 8 and closing at
Yeah.
5 or whatever. They might be open at 10 at night, and they might not be open at 3 in the afternoon. So it's
Yeah. Yeah. Don't trust your I know we like live and die by our like Google times, Google hours or whatever.
yeah,
But yeah, you can't rely on that here. You really have to just kind of like be laissez-faire.
yeah,
Yeah. Which is fun. I mean, it's different if it's a different mentality than North American culture, which is like, yeah, you want to be reliable and responsible to your business. But here there is like just this sense of like, life is more important, your family is more important, your time is more important than your business. Your business, well, yeah, like you said, Jacob said it last night. He's like, oh, they probably like made enough money, so they went home.
yeah,
So as soon as you do have enough, enough is enough. I think is the idea here, which is really beautiful, because I think as a business owner, as entrepreneurs, we find that we'll just grind. Like there's no ceiling or there's no end to like how much money you can make and how much time you can spend on your business. And I think it's really important that you keep perspective, and you understand what the important things in life are, not just working yourself to the bone and having burnout.
yeah, for sure.
You make enough money to support your family, then you get to go home and spend the time with your family. So that's been really cool, a cool lesson that we're learning. So yeah, so the two churches I just wanted to mention, we did a little video. I did a clip on them. One of them was actually from like the second story of the church, but they're both really beautiful. They're made in like the 16th and 17th century, and it's just really beautiful, like wood, metal, ceramic, and masonry work that you can see. Really, I mean, we're in a town now that has like one that's even more beautiful. I think the church, the art that's in the San Pedro Church here
Yep.
in the countryside, but really there is a big Catholic, um, Catholicism is really big here. It's a big part of their culture. Every town, every city you go to, we're driving now through the mountains, has like a big Jesus statue on the highest point of mountains. We showed a video, if you guys want to check it out, on YouTube of Cristo Blanco, also set on the top of Cusco, and that one's huge. So there's a big energy around Catholicism, and all the churches, they're really proud of them, and they put a lot of work into their churches here.
Yeah, so Cusco really is, it used to be like the capital of the Incan Empire, and just the city now is so amazing. And we had talked about this before in our kind of introduction to Peru before we had
Last
left.
week, yeah.
And then actually going there, it really did not disappoint. Like there's just so many different styles of masonry and all the ancient Incan foundations, and then the Spanish churches on top and the stuff like that. It was so cool. We found sure enough there's KFC and McDonald's, and it's
Yeah.
just built into this like, ancient 1600s like stone building. So cool.
Yeah. I was so
Um,
proud. Our kids actually were both like, ew, gross. Like, why would we go to McDonald's? We're in Peru. We can eat Peruvian food. So I was like, yes, we must be doing something right.
yeah, yeah.
That our kids didn't want to go to like the North American stuff that they might have been comforted by, right? They might have been comfortable with something that they recognize and they're familiar, but we can tell that we're raising them to have a really big sense of wonder and curiosity to different cultures.
Yeah, totally. On the third day, the kids still weren't feeling great, or Phoenix, anyways.
Yeah, Phoenix was so sick.
Yeah, he actually vomited the one night, but
Oof.
yeah, so he got it the worst. He was 5. Maybe it's from being young. We're not sure. It could be a
Yeah,
young children thing. But Annabelle was 9, and she
she
was the
was
best out of
fine.
all of us. So who
I
knows?
did notice I didn't like have the headaches, but I did notice the like shortness of breath. Like you just realize
Oh, definitely. Well,
all of a sudden you're gasping,
I
right?
still feel that just trying to do long sentences on this podcast, you got to stop and take a big breath every once in a while. Your body's not used to the amount of oxygen coming in, so you
Right.
need to take bigger, deeper breaths.
Yeah, and
But
we're
it feels
finding
healthier when you do that.
yeah, just regulating your breath better. We're finding too that like being staying hydrated is really helping because like
Yep.
your skin just gets dry. Like it's also dry season here, so there's just not a lot of moisture in the air. So yeah, the water is really helping, and just taking breaks when you need to take breaks.
Yeah.
In Cusco, we slept a lot. Like it's not like our family to be taking like naps every day and in
Yeah.
bed by 8 o'clock and
Yeah.
yeah, sleeping until 9 a.m. Like it's not like us, but we're having to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, the third day I was feeling better. So the Bree stayed home with the kids, and I went to see the Coricancha, which is it was the ancient Incan temple of the sun, but now it is a Spanish Catholic church built on top of that, and it's a really cool place because same thing. The foundation is this beautiful ancient Incan stonework, and then there's the Spanish like brick cathedral built on top of that. So it's still a functioning cathedral, and it's really beautiful inside with the all woodworking, altar, and stuff like that. But also inside the courtyard is still these impeccably crafted like Incan walls, which were just insane. But it was a really cool place, and then you can see kind of in there's a really big courtyard outside, and there's just blocks scattered all over the place from when it would have been either destroyed by the Spanish or maybe even from a time period before that.
We're actually staying pretty close to there, and we're actually back to Cusco 3 times. So we started there, and then that's where our Machu Picchu train comes out of to go through Sacred Valley, and then we're back there obviously to fly out. So yeah, we're staying actually right near the Coricancha. Hopefully, me and the kids get to do it because yeah, Phoenix was really sick that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the fourth day, and that's literally what all the documentation said, is said 2 to 4 days to acclimatize. Just give yourself those days to like relax. And we did see, and we heard tons of stories of people because I think you only have so much time. So you get off the flight, you got a week, you want to do all the things. So
Yep.
people are booking their flights into Cusco, and then the next day they're doing Sacsayhuaman, and the next day they're doing Machu Picchu, and the next day they're doing Sacred Valley. So they're really squishing everything together. You're not giving yourself enough time. So by the fourth day, like all the documentation said, we were feeling 100%.
Yep.
We got up nice and early, and then we took a cab. Oh yeah, just in case you do end up traveling around, I don't know. I know Colombia. I read about this as well, but their Uber is all over now, which was great. We've been using the Uber. Everything's costing us like $2 to $5 to Uber around. So we did an Uber up to Sacsayhuaman. And yeah, on the fourth day, so that was the Friday, we did the Sacsayhuaman and Kinko.
Yeah.
And Jacob was dying.
Yeah. I was so excited because I have heard about Sacsayhuaman from like millions of podcasts before, and it was amazing. Like it's just incredible to see it, and it's I thought maybe you could get some kind of clues from actually being here, but it's just even more unexplainable in real life just to actually see how big the stones were and how perfectly they fit with all these crazy curved shapes. Like the walls just look like these beautiful puzzle pieces all just stuck together, and they're still there from like 5,000 years or
Yeah,
whatever they
right.
explain they are.
5,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I hate anytime that anyone does any kind of timelines because I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Just don't bother.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that we can predict what time period these things were built in.
Yeah, I think they said it in, or I think we said it in the last podcast, but there's no writing from the Spanish culture. Like
Right.
Egypt, they wrote everything on the walls, where here there's no writing. There's
No
no, you'll
language.
find carvings of the snake and the
Condor,
condor and the
puma.
puma,
Yeah.
like they're sacred animals, but there isn't a written language. So all the information comes from just like passed down through generation, like what do they call that?
Folklore, yeah,
Their
folklore and
stories and
stories, yeah,
yeah,
storytelling. And even that, I think a lot of it, like they say Inca, but like our guests and most people, most archaeologists are saying like this was pre-Inca. This was a
yes,
civilization that came before the Inca. The Inca found these megalithic sites and then began to build on top of them.
yeah.
And you can see the difference in the
You can
rocks.
clearly see
It's
like
very obvious.
the these incredible, gigantic, like megalithic stones, and then there'll be, just to create a wall, there'll just be mud mortar and then just, you
Field
know,
stones,
rough field stones
yeah,
stacked on
shoved
top of it.
in.
And that, to me, is pretty clear that there's another culture that came in after, like found this amazing place and then just built walls to create houses and things like that wherever
Yeah,
they needed it, or maybe it
right.
was a fortress or a temple, whatever it needed to be.
Right. Then I actually think that just from going to Sacsayhuaman, my thought is the terraces came from the Incas.
I think so
But the
too.
big megalithic rocks were pre
Yes.
civilization, and then the Incas found it and were like, oh, we need to grow gardens, we need to plant food, we need to raise our families and stuff. So I think there's a missing link between those two civilizations in my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I know you said that it posed more questions for you than answers, but for me, two things were very clear. One, um, my thought is that these people were humongous. There's no way that they're moving. I mean, you can tell me that they were using, logs and rolling and cranes and trillions of people. None of that makes sense to me. It just doesn't. For me, it only makes sense that these people were like humongous. They were way bigger than us. That just makes sense to me that they were giants. And then the second was yeah, just the size and the precision and the intelligence, the engineering that went involved into everything. We kept saying like it looks like, they were doing it so that it was stable and it was gonna last forever. So the engineering was there, the precision was there, the brain work was there. But just the sheer size of it. And then the other thought we had was that it looks playful. It
Yeah.
looks like they're creating art. It looks like
Yeah.
they were just like, okay, yeah, we could just stack these, like how we build brick houses now is like the seams go on unevenly so that they create stability.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. They wanted it to be like every piece wanted to be something
Yeah.
different.
No
Every
rock
piece,
was the same
no
size
rock was the same size or shape
or
or
shape.
cut
Yeah.
or yeah, and the angles are like, oh, let's just notch this here for fun.
Yeah.
Let's just notch this here because I want to do it, not
Because we
because it's
can.
because we can.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for me, it did give me like some answers in terms of like the sheer size of it, but also like the precision and then the creative, like, the playfulness of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it really
Where
is
art meets
beautiful. Like,
opportunity.
yeah, I wish
It
I
was our
wish I could have
battleground,
walls like that
right?
in our
Jacob's like,
house.
how do we do this? I'm like,
Yeah.
I really think that's a stretch.
Yeah. And yeah, just the fit of the stones is mind blowing. Like, yeah, you could be a giant to lift it, but then to carve it
Cut
that
it.
perfectly
Yeah.
brings in this whole other side. Like usually a lot, like something like Stonehenge, it was really like, how did they get those rocks up there? Where this is, how did they get those rocks up there? But also like, how are they that perfect? Like even in masonry now we use mortar. Even now today, like we stack bricks, they're not perfect fitting and they don't just lock into each other.
No.
We glue it all
Things
together.
fall apart.
Where this was no glue, no mortar, and these joints, like to touch them with your hand, there isn't a gap.
No.
And some places there are gaps because of earthquakes over thousands of years.
But they're still like a millimeter.
When you look at the surfaces that touch each other, they're perfectly flat on the inside, going all the way into these like massive stones. Some of these stones were like 12 feet wide.
Yeah, I have some statistics here, measurements and weights of the blocks of Sacsayhuaman. So yeah, just so you guys have a visualization, if you have a chance, we're gonna actually, when we go back to Cusco, we're gonna try to get an aerial view. So We w're trying to. Well, we can do that after. We'll talk about drone flying in
Yeah, that's true.
Cusco. In Cusco,
I figured out the problem, but
yeah,
yeah, we'll get
we'll
into
talk.
that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But anyways, yeah. So if you have a chance, definitely check this out online. But Sacsayhuaman features three massive terraced walls arranged in a zigzag pattern. These extend approximately 400 to 540 meters in length and originally reached heights of up to 6 meters or about 18 feet. So that's the length, that's like the size of the actual wall that you see at like the bottom level. And then they kind of just go up from there. The combined volume of stone in these terraces is estimated to exceed 6,000 cubic meters, which corresponds to around 16,000 tons of rock.
Yeah,
Just the,
I think that's even a low estimation. Like
yeah,
when you're beside those walls, they're so big.
so big. So
Yeah,
yeah,
what
there's
were
some statistics on the individual blocks themselves. Do you want to talk
yeah,
about that?
the largest limestone, oh, it was limestone? Yeah, I thought they
Or
were all
andesite.
andesite.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that's why you see some that are like super pitted.
Mm,
I think those were the limestone ones, and
mm,
why they decided to do some and like all the rest of the andesite looks like rock solid. Like now
yeah,
they're still smooth on the
it is
edges.
very hard stone.
Yeah, but the limestone, you could see that once in a while they would use a limestone and it was super pitted
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, the largest limestone blocks are estimated to weigh between 120 and 200 tons,
per block,
with some sources citing up to 300 tons. Yeah, per single stone.
per
And you
single
could see a
stone.
lot of the stones were uh, smaller, but
Right.
still like bigger than I am.
And their
But then
guess was
some of
that,
them were just gargantuan. Like they
yeah,
were
the
just massive. The
cornerstones,
cornerstones were all just enormous, and how they
enormous.
were shaped around the corners were just it was so beautiful and elegant, but just enormous too.
Yeah. Heights. So yeah, the individual blocks. More conservative and commonly referenced figures note that the weights between 90 and 125 tons and the measurement of them were 2.5 meters wide and some 5 meters high.
Yeah.
Those were those like big cornerstones. So 5 meters high. I mean, you can check out our pictures, check out our Instagram, so you can see like the relativity of us compared to these blocks is just insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And even the stone walls are just incredible. But
Yeah.
what is also awesome about the site is the other side across from the walls.
Yeah, that was our next
Oh,
stuff.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so right nearby across from it, and again we did some videos on this, is the terraces. Is that what you're gonna talk about?
No, not the terraces, but there's just an area. So we have like the zigzag stone fortress or whatever they call it, and
Yeah.
then there's this big, perfectly flat courtyard throughout the middle, which must have just been this
Oh, like the top
amazing
above the
gathering
zigzag?
space. And
Yeah.
then across from that is it's this huge bedrock outcrop, but it's carved so strangely. It has these just smooth like it's
Sweeping.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
this perfect smooth like carved rounded surface
Yeah.
on and it looks like it's human made, but at the same time it's just so bizarre.
It looked like to me that like there was just this big, huge flat and they were like raked it over. Like
Yeah.
it was so smooth and like as if like just nails like picked across it. It was
Something was just
wild.
carving it like one of those like asphalt eating machines, but
Yeah.
just in this beautiful like rounded shape. So there was actually one section of this area that created these perfect slides. So
Oh
our
yeah.
kids just climbed up to the top of it and just were using them as slides, and they were
Yeah.
sliding down the rocks. So it ended up being we at first weren't going to bring the kids. We were thinking maybe, oh, I'll
Be
just
too
go or
much.
something
And
like that.
they
They're
were
going to be
just
bored.
sick and they were coming off sickness.
But Sacsayhuaman was like, it was just a huge jungle gym, and the kids were having a great time just climbing up on the rocks. Oh, that's something that I wanted to say too. Was like we had gone to Chichen Itza earlier this year,
Yeah.
and it was so touristy.
Ugh.
Everything was roped off. It was packed with people. There was just vendors in your face the whole time.
Yeah.
It really wasn't a great experience
No.
that way.
It was so obnoxious. You couldn't even
Whereas
walk. People are all over you.
where Sacsayhuaman, I don't know if it was maybe the time of year, maybe it's different in their summer or something like that. But we were here in August and it was perfect. Like there is a couple ropes on certain areas that they don't want you to walk on, which okay, fine. but for the most part, you can walk right up to the stones, you can touch the stones, you can stick your fingers in the gaps and just,
Yeah.
feel how smooth and incredible it is. But then the other side, like there's a same thing, a couple areas that were roped off, but for the most part, it was just free for the kids to run and climb on, and it was great.
They
I
had
was
so much
so happy
fun.
we could actually walk up to it and touch it without having to stand behind a rope and take a picture.
And Peru, the government, I was reading about this Friday night. The government marks these places as sacred sites.
Yes.
So I mean, obviously they're open to tourists coming and visiting, and there's a fee to go in, so they're making money off of like the sites, but they're maintaining the sacredness of it by not allowing vendors to go in there.
Yeah.
So you see a couple that are like on the streets, and really they're just providing like you know sustenance. Like we needed
Yeah.
like water and we needed snacks,
Yeah.
but really they're not allowing people to go in there and monetize it.
Yeah.
They're really keeping it as like the sacred sanctity that it's supposed to be,
Yeah, and
which
most
is
of the
cool.
people that were there, I would say it was like more than 50% local people that are just there to kind of, take in their
Explore.
heritage. And
Yeah, and there is like local rates everywhere you go, so you can kind of go like if for the people that live here, they're able to use it as like a temple almost. They can use it in meditation or prayer. There was people there just kind of like sitting and praying and meditating, so it wasn't necessarily like exploration. It was like worship
yeah.
practice, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, the other thing too was there was those just the carved like stair steps in
Oh
in a bunch of the
yeah,
areas.
yeah,
So that was actually, I said there's the two styles of masonry. There's like the stack stones, and then there's like the precision cut megalithic stuff. But then this third style is just cut out of the rock,
yeah.
which I think could have been like the
Could have been like
same
a
people that
quarry.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It could
could
have
have
been
been
a
the quarry
quarry
or
where they were
something.
like, chunking it out.
But it is really weird. It looks like there's just these random stairs going up these, and it's always on just these big bedrock outcrops.
Yeah.
So it was like this was sacred or something. And it for the most part, it seems like they built like the Incas built walls around these. So maybe they were like sacred to them or
Yeah,
something like
maybe they were
that.
worshiping it because they were boggled by it, like the
Yeah.
people who found these sites. But it literally
Yeah.
just looks like if you had like a big like backhoe and you were just able to like scoop out
Just
of a rock.
scoop out the rock. Yeah.
Yeah, like they didn't have to explode it. They didn't have to use dynamite. They were
No.
able to just like slice through
Yeah.
it and
So
like
you have
scoop
these
it out.
these perfect flat like square indentations in the rock all over the place.
Yeah.
And they've been sitting out in the weather for this long, so that's obviously like kind of rounded the surfaces and things
Right.
like
But
that
still,
where
like laser cut.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
I'm
cool.
wondering if they had maybe like some like heating device where they were able to. I know one of the guesstimates was that they could like change the rock into more of like a marshmallow, like a malleable substance.
Yeah, yeah. Some
But
people
yeah,
think they
just
could
like
soften
maybe
it. Yeah.
yeah, maybe they could heat it a certain way or like cut it with heat or vibration, like things that again we did that really fun episode where we were talking about parapsychology and different like ideas of or the resonance episode too, where yeah I think it's just like it's lost technology, it's lost ways that we were
It
able
is.
to understand, right? Yeah, so I don't we're kind of jumping all over, that's okay, but
Yeah. Cool. I was just gonna say it's funny. It's something that's there's a little museum in the town that
yeah,
we're
that's what I
staying
was just about to
now.
say. Yeah,
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 and they have elongated skulls.
right.
And right in the museum here, it says like these were probably aliens, and these skulls look so weird. They have
Mm-hmm.
this massive like cranial
Bulbous,
area,
yeah,
and then kind of like bigger eye sockets, and then kind of like a jaw, like a regular
and
human.
tiny bodies
And yeah, the bodies seem small,
compared
but
to the
there
heads.
wasn't a lot of. It was mostly the skulls that were
Yeah,
preserved.
but they had shoulder, rib cage. They
Some of
had
them, yeah,
torso.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can imagine that if the skull was that big, then the
The
brain would have to be
brain.
that big, which is like some of them look like double the size of what we have.
Right.
So if you imagine just a human creature with a brain twice the size of ours, maybe they knew how to move these rocks and we don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. So yeah, on the other side, we kind of mentioned it, but we're gonna our next episode, I think we'll really discuss this because we're going into Sacred Valley after Machu Picchu. So I just wanted to touch on all the terracing, and like I mentioned before, my guess is it was more of the Incas that were doing this. They're really big on their like three power crops, which is potatoes, quinoa,
And corn.
and corn. But there's a lot of, I mean, just imagine trying to grow a garden on the side of a mountain, right? I mean, imagine trying to keep your house from falling into the valley. Like there's so much involved in the terracing that you see across Cusco. So yeah, we were able to kind of hike up and look at the one across. There is a huge terrace site in Sacsayhuaman, but it really looks like it's two different things. It looks like there's like the bedrock, like Jacob mentioned. There's the valley beside it. Then there's the big, huge megalithic wall that's on the right hand side. But the terraces, yeah, they say, and they're still in use today. So it would make sense that they would continue some of those practices. It looks like it's a agricultural engineering. So they use these like terraces. So they're like stepping flat steps cut into the mountain or added into the mountain slopes that support retaining walls. And this would create more availability and more accessibility for farming.
Yeah.
So it does seem that they're still using it today. It's still in use in the same practices. And then also there's a really cool things going on where, again, we'll talk about this in our next episode, where they're creating microclimates. So because every step you go up, you're going up a different elevation, it's different altitude, it's different temperature, it's all these different, like you're creating all these different microclimates by going up and down the mountain. So they're doing a lot of like just experimentation on what crops do the best at what different degrees. So they're able to go up a couple of steps, a couple terraces to see if that crop does better comparatively. So yeah, they're using kind of the terraces to develop and do a lot of experimentation on varieties of crops at different elevations.
Yeah, and the terraces prevents erosion and landslides, so it kind of holds all the dirt in place, and it helps helps with soil conservation.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, yeah, the water management is something that they're really well known for too. And you can see it all through Sacsayhuaman, and you can still see it through a lot of the cities.
A lot of Cusco too.
They're still using these ancient Incan drainage channels.
Yeah.
And they're all cut through the mountain. So they really understood, like, just water management and how to divert water where it needed to go. And it's still something that's still functional.
And I think too, like it's not, I was saying this before, I'm like, are they getting rid of the water or are they capturing the water? Because I think
it was both. They're you could see they had in the Coricancha, you can see some of it was just decorative. Like there's these ancient little fountains, and you can see that there's a channel running from up higher that's coming down. Mm-hmm. And so when it would rain, it would just bring water into that fountain, and it would create a decorative thing, right?
Yeah, because like during the wet season, it gets crazy, like torrential rain. It's insane here. They really say don't come here during the wet season because like roads will wash out. I mean, you're on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
And then you have the same in the wet season. You have like the issues of like flooding in the valleys, right? Where they need to like get rid of water and they need to move water around. And then you have the dry season, which we're in now, where people are, going through huge droughts. Like even just drinking water is difficult to capture. So you do see they're using the drainage, like you said, really intelligently. Some is getting rid of it to move it away so it's not creating flooding or problems. And some is to store and collect so that you have drinking water. Unfortunately, Peru is considered third world because it doesn't have clean drinking water. So just a sidebar for travelers, we are finding everywhere we go, we have to boil everything.
Yep.
We're having to boil water to make sure that it's drinkable, but we have been boiling water and filling up water bottles and we haven't had any issues.
Yep.
Nobody's gotten sick from the drinking water. So it really is just an extra step to make sure that you're boiling your water or buying it.
Yeah, it really is crazy being here. There's a lot of, it's funny, even this town that we're in now, it does look very third world from the outside.
Yeah.
But then you'll walk into a restaurant and it'll just be beautiful inside.
Yeah.
So it's funny, they're really working hard. Like there's construction going on everywhere we've been, and they're really building up the country. So it's props to them. They're trying hard.
Yep. I think that's a good spot for a break.
Sure, yeah.
We're gonna go check on our kids because they're sitting in the common room next door. We put them in front of YouTube and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So we knew they would just be a pain in the butt trying to record. So yeah, we're gonna go check on them really quick and we'll be back.
All right.
we're doing our roadsode from Andahuaylillas.
Andahuaylillas.
Huelias. I'm never
Yeah.
gonna be able to say it. Yeah, we're our even when you think your Spanish is good, and then you come to a country, you're like, "Yep, it's really bad."
Yeah, our Spanish was not good at all.
Not good at all. We're
We did
muddling
kind
through
of,
numbers.
yeah, we did kind of slack on how much preparation we did do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
It's
oh,
hard.
that's
It's
actually
not
something
easy.
we should talk about. We got the SIM card in Cusco.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've actually maybe leave a comment below if you're listening to this and you're a fellow traveler. We are looking up like kind of international SIM card
Yeah,
situations that look like they're opportunities. But yeah, for Peru, there's it's called Claro, or there's a couple different ones. We used Claro,
Entel, I think.
Bitel,
Yeah.
Bitel. Anyways, yeah, so you just go down in Cusco anywhere and you can get a SIM card and they'll swap out your SIM card, but you won't have access to your phone. So that's kind of been an issue for me, anyways, because with working, I'm not able to text or call anyone from our phone to a Canadian phone. We can't text or call. So you
Oh,
basically don't have any phone options. You only have internet,
okay.
which again now is great. We were talking about this. We're thinking, oh, if this was 20 years ago, you would have been traveling and kind of said goodbye to your family and not seen them for the duration of your trip, which like now because of internet, we're able to use platforms like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, and you can use that. That is international, and you can use your phone number that way, but not your usual like phone system that you would usually call or text.
Yeah, but we needed the data so we could just use
Use
Google
Google
Translate for the
Translate.
most
Yeah.
part, and that's really helped us out a lot because
Yeah.
yeah, we're not as Spanish as we hoped we were.
Yeah. I also think it's important to realize that the Google Translate is so bad. It's even confusing to people when you're using the Google Translate that they're not understanding because it's just so bad. So I'm kind of experimenting with using like ChatGPT as a source or using some AI platforms for language translations. I think the learning language models are going to be a lot more um, just better at translating, more savvy, I guess, at translating language. So yeah. Yeah, so where were we? So we finished our first 5 days in Cusco, and we ended up deciding to rent a car. In hindsight, I don't know if I would have done it. We have the kids, so we're carrying a lot of luggage. And it was just the thought of like kind of the in between, so like taking a bus and then getting dropped off at a bus station and then trying to find our accommodations, our Airbnbs, kind of freaked
Yeah.
me out. But now in hindsight, the driving has been pretty crazy.
Yes, it has. So Cusco, the roads are all right. It's
Yeah.
just very busy.
Yeah.
And the drivers here are very crazy. Like they just kind of go and squeeze in, and like everybody's cars are dented up and stuff like that. And there's a lot of just really tight, fast driving through the city. So I was a little nervous about driving out of Cusco. Then you get out of
Luckily, our
Cusco.
car is a piece of crap.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily, it was well
Our
dented, so we
rental
don't have to
car
worry
is
too much.
already dinged up, so we were
We haven't
happy
hit it
about
yet
that.
though.
Yeah.
But
I can't believe we haven't.
yeah. So then the highways are okay for the most part.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
The drive
No,
out
the
here,
drive is gorgeous.
yeah, it was so beautiful. Having our own car and being able to kind of drive through the mountains was awesome.
But then yeah, we found out about this water park in a little town, so we kind of made a stop. And then just getting to this water park, we're in this small town, and then the roads go from pavement to cobblestone, and then just
Dirt.
extremely rough dirt and gravel.
Yeah.
So we're going around this dirt and gravel road, and then there's a sign for the water park with an arrow. So we're like, okay, I guess we got to go up here, and it's like this like goat path up the mountain. So we take our car like most of the way up,
I
just
can't believe
bumping
you
up
got
and
it
down.
up.
It's a standard as well, so that was another challenge about of doing that. So we get this car all the way up, and then it looks like it's just like somebody's driveway or
Yeah.
something like that. So we kind of had to
We
like,
could see it behind it though. We're like, there it
yeah,
is, but we're not in the
yeah.
right
So
driveway.
I had to like 5-point turn on the side of the mountain, like looking down the cliff, kind of, and then get back down. And then we found the entrance to the water park, but still on this like rough dirt road.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That
the infrastructure really isn't there for driving your car. Even
no.
coming into our Airbnb at Andahuaylillas,
Jueleles.
we yeah, so same thing. Getting into the town, the roads just get rougher and rougher and rougher the farther you go. And even it's not a big town. It's maybe 6 or 8 blocks wide. But when you get to the last 2 blocks where our little eco resort was, um, yeah, it's just dirt and gravel, and the roads are so tight. We drove to where we were supposed to go, and then there was just a car parked there, so it was
Can't
blocking the road.
pass. Yeah.
So we had to back the car back up. There was this big hole in the road that I had to try and avoid, and made it through that one. Then we had to come up this other dirt road to get there, and turn the corner. Boom! There's a car blocking the roads. So we luckily there was a store on the corner, and the people were kind of just sitting there, and they got somebody to move the car, and then we got through. But yeah, it was pretty wild. So even we got in, and the host was just like, "Oh, how was the drive?" And she's like, "Loco," and we're like, "Yes,
Yeah,
loco."
loco, exactly. You didn't mention it, but I just wanted to mention because we are traveling with kids, and I know maybe not, maybe this isn't typically a place that people travel with their kids, but if you are like us and you're bringing your kids to Cusco, the town is called Wasau, and it's like right outside. It was what, maybe 20 minutes outside Cusco.
A little farther, I'd say probably 30.
Yeah, so and I know you can take a bus to get out here, and you could take a bus all the way out to Lake Titicaca, so anywhere along the stop. But yeah, it was called Yaqua, and the kids had a blast. It was unbelievable. It had like water slides. The ticket included our lunch meal, which was a traditional Peruvian meal. Um, and that is usually roasted chicken and like various forms of potato. That's like the most traditional Peruvian food. But they also had ceviche is like really popular here, which we were pleasantly surprised about.
Yeah.
We love ceviche, and yeah, we've had it in a lot of the different Caribbean places that we've gone to, but I was surprised because I just thought it typically was like a coastal thing or like an ocean thing. Anyways, yeah, so there was a really awesome meal included in it. It had a bar in there. So yeah, if you are traveling with kids, there's also the Poke Park,
Oh
which is
yeah.
also in that same town, and it's just like Pokemon characters that are like statues in this park. So yeah, Wasau was the town. If you are traveling in Cusco and you're looking for some fun things to do, there's also a place we didn't end up going, but I think it's like an inflatable park. We've seen a couple. It looks pretty ghetto, but it was fun. I mean, if it would have been great for the kids, because again, sometimes they're not as interested in rocks as we are,
Yeah, or as I am.
or walking, or just walking. Period.
Yeah.
So it was a nice break for them. They had a really good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, just I wanted to say something quick about Cusco is great because we were able to get anything. I mean, you can get any kind of food you want. It's similar to like a big city. But if you are traveling with picky eaters, you are really going to find that like most places, especially in the town that we're in now, the restaurant really is just chicken and potatoes.
Yeah, well, which I find is pretty good
Oh, it was
for your
delicious.
average picky eater. Like
Yeah.
they have it's funny, we saw it at the water park first, but it's what Phoenix got after, but they call it
Yesterday.
salchipapa.
Yeah.
And so salchipapa is like it's basically sliced hot dogs on top of fries. And well, Phoenix loved it.
Yeah, the translation is sausage and fries.
Yeah,
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 shalti
sausage
papa.
potatoes, yeah.
We just thought the name was so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you are looking for some more diversity, then Cusco is definitely the place to go. We were able to get like a pizza the one
Oh, the
night.
pizza was
Yeah,
excellent.
the pizza was really good.
They do a lot of baking, and their bread
Their
is really
bread is
good.
so good. Yeah, yeah. But if you're getting out more into the rural areas, the countryside, then yeah, you're kind of at the. And I think actually this place actually still has one more time, Andahuaylilas.
Andahuaylillas. Yeah.
Never gonna happen.
The
Um,
3 L's at the end make it tough, but it's a
yes,
Y. So
it's a Y.
there
Yeah, the double L is
you
a Y. Yeah, so this place actually was great because there is some restaurants, so we were able to kind of go for a walk and have lunch yesterday. And we're gonna do the same today. But you're if you're looking for some diversity, you're gonna get more and more difficulty as you get more rural. We're gonna talk about this soon, but we're on our where we're headed. There is no restaurants and everything is homestay, so you're at the mercy of whoever's hosting you to also feed you.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was kind of reflecting on how we get so used to our modern way of life, because here there's no grocery stores.
Right.
So Cusco, there was a supermarket and a grocery store, but how this country operates is how it would have used to operate. It's like, you grow your own crop and then you bring that to the market. So we wanted to pick up groceries for our stay in this town, and the closest thing that was open was a market in Urcos, and it was a very traditional style market. There, everybody kind of had their own fruit, produce, and meat in their own little section.
Yep.
So you bought everything separate from each vendor, and even this place was nice that it just had all those vendors in one place.
Yeah, it's called Plaza Market and it's in Yurkos, which is also a really beautiful place. We're gonna try to stop on our way out to House and Gate. Um, but yeah, zero English. They will not speak one lick of English there.
Yeah,
It was a very like truly authentic Peruvian experience to go shopping there, and the food
definitely.
was amazing.
Yeah, the food was
We
great.
got apples and carrots and potatoes, and everything's been so good. When you do find a market and you're buying your food, it's really good.
Yeah, the carrots were so delicious and fresh.
Yeah. So yeah, now we are, like we said, we're kind of on the countryside, hanging out. We're doing some of our tech work, we're recording and just chilling.
Yep.
It's been fun. This is definitely a nice break from Cusco, which is just so wild and hustling.
Yeah, Cusco is busy and beautiful and bustling for sure. There's a lot of yeah, I guess what you would expect in a big city.
Yeah,
What I
totally.
was really surprised by is everything is very clean here, no matter where you go. They have
Yeah.
posted all over the place. There's very big signs that are big fines for littering,
Yeah.
and it's posted on signs everywhere.
Yeah.
And the towns are very clean,
Yeah.
so
You
it's
can tell like people take pride in it too. Like you'll always
definitely.
see like store owners out like actually sweeping the streets
Yep.
independently so that they're keeping everything clean. And like Jacob mentioned, like big emphasis and fines for if you are littering. So yeah, it's so surprising because you think third world, you'd end up with like, garbage on the streets and lots of stray dogs though.
Yeah, there's lots of stray
But no
dogs, but you
garbage.
know
Yeah,
what?
no garbage.
They look healthy.
They do look
They're
healthy. I
not
think
like
they might.
mangy
No, I
dogs.
think they might be like just pets that like hang out outside.
Yeah.
I was actually really shocked. I keep mentioning that I can't believe how many different dog breeds.
Yeah.
Hey, like there's different dog breeds in every town. Like every dog I've seen has been a different breed.
Yep.
It's cool. There's a lot of diversity in the stray animals here.
Yeah, that's
No
for
cats,
sure.
just dogs. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we saw a few cats in Cusco, but I
Oh
think they're
yeah.
pets. They're mostly
Uh,
just in a store with somebody.
they're probably taking care of the mice,
Yeah, oh
right?
totally.
Yeah. So yeah, I also wanted to mention so there's valleys on either side. We've been saying like North Valley and South Valley because Cusco's right in the middle. So we're actually now in the South Valley. And both of them are really good to know if you are struggling from altitude sickness. Both valleys drop significantly once you get out of Cusco.
Yeah,
So
even yeah, sorry, go ahead.
we're down to 10,000 feet above sea level, where
Yeah.
Cusco was 12,000.
Yes, and it's amazing that 1,000 foot difference. It's actually much warmer
Much
here.
warmer here.
We were in shorts and t-shirts yesterday. It was a nice sunny day, and it
Yeah.
was actually predicted to be even colder in Cusco than from what we were the day before.
Yeah. Yeah, also I really love the smell everywhere you walk in town now. We were walking around yesterday and you can smell the eucalyptus grove. So we're actually surrounded but eucalyptus grows like wild here. So yeah, the smell is really nice, but yeah, a lot warmer. Um and yeah, we kind of mentioned this before, but there is this town that we're staying in right now is known, they call it the Sistine Chapel of the Andes, which is the San Pedro Church. And you can tell we're staying here, but you can tell the tour buses kind of come in and out of this place.
Yeah,
So they're bringing people from Cusco. This is one of the stops to see this beautiful church. It
it's
really is something to see.
yeah,
Did you post pictures of it, the church?
not yet.
Okay.
It's not as ornate as the ones in the Cusco Square,
Yeah, not as
but it's
big.
we haven't been inside yet. So apparently this one is very it's like intricately painted over the entire ceiling.
Right. Cool. And then we already kind of talked about the museum there with the elongated skulls.
Yeah, we haven't gone yet either, but I'm excited to see those.
Yeah, crazy. And we talked about this already, but the driving is a challenge. So,
Oh yeah.
we are actually so tomorrow or the next day, we're headed to Austin Gate, which is known for its hot springs. So, and we're pretty sure we haven't looked into it because obviously everyone's focused on the ancient sites of Machu Picchu, but I think Machu Picchu, the town right beside it, or the base of it, is called Aguas Calientes, which means hot water. So also, so yeah, there's really cool hot springs all over, peppered all over Cusco as well, and Sacred Valley.
Yeah, actually, this southeastern valley that we're in is it doesn't really have the archaeological sites like the northwest
That's where we're staying after Machu
is
Picchu.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole Incan Empire didn't seem to really make its way down to this area, but yeah, there's lots of other cool things here.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I thought we could do a fun crossfire.
Okay.
So yeah, I just thought that we could talk about things that we're loving and things that we're missing about home.
Hmm.
Things that you love about Peru.
Um. Well, actually, I really love the poncho.
Oh my
I
god.
bought a poncho, and I just think it's a great garment. It keeps you warm. It's so fun to play with and dance around with. I don't know. It's great.
All right. The
But yeah,
wares,
and I love the colors, the patterns, and obviously
all
I,
their
I'm
clothing.
I'm just mesmerized by the ancient architecture. It's beautiful.
Yeah. All the art too. We didn't get into
Oh
this
yeah, I
yet,
didn't
but
even
there's
talk about that.
yeah, so there's like a big influence here in Peru. And anytime you talk to people about going to Peru, they talk about like the ayahuasca trips, the
Yeah,
ayahuasca ceremonies, which is it's a plant that grows here, and it's kind of
two plants.
right, the combination of two plants to give you this like psychedelic experience. But you can tell a lot of the art that is surrounding, especially in Cusco, is kind of inspired by that psychedelic
Yes,
ayahuasca ceremony experience.
there's definitely a lot of ayahuasca art. It's really colorful and
Yeah.
mystical. It's really cool.
Actually, in the town that we live in, we just walked by it, but there's two shamans that live here that do like the ayahuasca ceremonies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we have our kids, so I'm sure that would be
Yeah,
negligent.
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, cool. Again, part of the culture, and I think it's going back to kind of that. What's the indigenous people we talked about this, the
Oh, Quechua.
Quechua, yeah,
Yeah,
the Quechua. It's a big part of their indigenous culture, and then obviously going back to like the Incan culture.
yeah. So how about you? What are you loving?
Yeah, I guess like just on a personal level, it's just that slower pace of life. Like I said at the top of the episode, they're really all about, spending time with their families, and not so much about the like grind of money making and business ownership. That I have a hard time getting out of my brain that way when I'm back home. So I think it's just kind of been a personal journey for me to be able to spend time with you and the kids, and be able to explore and not be so, obsessively thinking about our future goals and plans and economic security.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I also, yeah, I'm enjoying the landscape too. I think it's such a change for us in our not to anything. Again, I would say I'm probably on the flip side, that I miss our lakes and our usual landscape of Niagara and Ontario. But yeah, it's nice to be in a different landscape. The mountains are majestic.
yeah.
Yeah. How about missing things that you're missing from home?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything.
Wow, you're like, never mind, I live here now.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Like
Yeah.
you know, there's modern conveniences that you don't
Yeah.
really get here,
Yep.
which you would expect. It's still considered a third world country, right? So
Yeah.
it was maybe the hot water isn't great in your place, or maybe the pans aren't as up to, as nonstick as you would want them to be, or
Oh my
whatever.
gosh.
But aside from that, like I've been pretty happy. I've been really surprised that everything is very safe.
Yeah.
Even some people I was talking to before were talking about getting robbed and stuff like that, and I haven't experienced like a single bit of that. We've been
No.
here with our kids, and it's been completely fine everywhere we've gone.
Yeah. I really think too, they are so accommodating. Like I think to have someone come into your culture, I mean, we're so spoiled when we come in from when we live in Canada. Everyone comes into Canada with like some basic level of English typically. even like second language learners or whatever, they'll always like some level of English. So we're really spoiled. So I think the fact that we came into this country so ignorantly without any language,
Exactly.
and they're
Yeah.
just trying to be so accommodating still
Yeah.
with us, like everyone, even just like shop owners and stuff, they're trying their hardest. They'll try to find like the one person in the store who speaks like a little bit of English, or the young person maybe
Yeah.
that's interested in English culture, and they'll go get them and try to help us. Everyone's just been so they've been putting in a lot of effort for somebody who really like doesn't deserve it
Yep,
because we
for
don't know their
sure.
language and we
Yeah.
came here
We're the
to
dummies just for
travel.
thrusting ourselves into your
Yeah.
place. Like
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's really something that I love about their culture. And yeah, obviously, their slow pace of life is just so inspiring.
Yep. Okay, so what are you missing?
Um, yeah, I think, it's natural for me to just, I'm so close with my family. So I miss, being close to my parents every day. And again, we're so lucky because now our technology allows us to be so connected. We're really focusing on, working on our artistically married, we're able to like do all this tech stuff on the road. We're able to post and interact with our family. So it's been great. But yeah, I definitely will I miss the studio. I miss my wonderful secretary. That's like my sister now. Miss my parents, I'm missing our family, but that's okay.
Yeah, actually, that's something that sorry, it's not about family, but
Oh.
with the tech stuff, I everywhere you go here to get on their Wi-Fi, they just have a QR code and you
Oh
scan
yeah,
it and
that's been
boom, you're hooked
great.
up. It's been
Yeah.
so simple.
Yeah, we're in
No
like the middle of the
passwords,
mountains and I
like
can't believe how good the service is.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely they have like got something on lockdown in terms of their Wi-Fi that we are struggling with in North America.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
know. I don't know why we don't have the same thing.
Yeah. I think Jacob's going to the bathroom in the middle of the podcast. No, okay. See,
Yeah.
this is why we can't use the wireless mics. It's too accessible. You can just go out and start doing stuff.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
true.
need to sit still. You can just podcast while you're walking around.
Yeah.
And I think, just again the stability, but um it's both sides of the coin. I forget the cliche, but I think that's why you travel, is because then you really appreciate what you have. So seeing like a third world country like this with not accessible roads, or you can't just like walk to Sobeys. Obviously, I'm missing that because I'm used to it, but I also am learning to appreciate it because we're gonna go home and really understand that, and especially for our children, that they're learning that not everyone in the world has the same availability as we do. So I think it's a really great, that's why people travel, is so that they can experience something different and they really understand and appreciate um, other places of the world.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been a big eye-opening experience for them, and they're not really sure what to think
Yeah, what to
half the
make of it.
time,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're doing really well.
Yeah. Yeah. They're doing great. We've taken them on some big hikes, and better than expected for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We are going to wrap up with you guys. Thanks so much. Hopefully, you're enjoying following us with our journey. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe us on Spotify, and we will see you next week.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and you'll never miss a podcast.
Yeah, all right. Good night.